All right, so the South America League is starting tomorrow, and today we're just going to go over some of the teams and some of the changes, and even potentially some storylines heading into stage two this year. So, to start, we are going to go talk about 9Z team. They were the 10th place team last stage, which was last, and they made one change. They swapped out Naza, Argentinian player, for a Brazilian player named VCNTX. I know nothing about this player. First time I've ever seen them before. So, not a lot of expectations for this team, kind of like I had last stage, but you never know with the South American League because it is the most competitive league in Siege right now, and it has been for a while, so you never really know who contenders can be because some teams can really surprise at times. Though usually you do still have your typical suspects always at the top. So yeah, 9Z team, not a lot of expectations this stage. If they make playoffs, I'd be surprised, but there have been crazier things that have happened before. So next is ENX. They have also made one change. They swapped out Nigel for Mitrix. Mitrix had a stint on Fluxo last year when Fluxo was in Siege before they essentially sold their partner spot to W7M. Um, Again, here, not a lot of expectations for this roster because they're kind of just building off of last stage, where last stage they came in as a brand new team. People didn't really expect them to be that good because they were coming out of Challenger League, and yeah, they weren't very good compared to the rest of the teams. But potentially with time, this team could be pretty good. I know a lot of people are big fans of Boxera as a player in the league, and I think a lot of people are looking for him to have like a breakout season here. So maybe that will happen this stage, but we'll see. And then we have Los. They were eighth place last stage. They have also made one change. They swapped out Mr. Six Outlaw for Darkies. Darkies used to play for T2 Brazilian teams such as W7M Academy and Elevate Academy, among others. And then, again, this is kind of another team in a similar situation to ENX and 9Z, though I think these guys have a little more experience than them at this point. But just really another team here, just still looking to prove themselves that haven't yet. Then we have Loud, probably my biggest disappointment at last stage, where they ended seventh, and they have also made one change by bringing back Flashtree, who used to be on the team before they signed with Loud, and they have, well, I believe Daffodil was technically bought out. But I don't actually know that, but I believe he was. So Daffodil is out of the team, and we'll talk about Daffo later. And Flash 3 is back. So we're back to that roster that got top 6 at SI 2025. And really, Loud is looking to their expectations really of themselves, I'm sure, is to make the major at least. So that's what I'm expecting from them as well. But it's going to be hard, especially with how competitive the league is. So next we have Black Dragons. They have also made some roster changes. They have added Ask and Miracle. Ask is coming back to Black Dragons after one stage on Team Liquid, and then Miracle is coming back to Tier 1 after spending one stage without a roster after losing out in the South American Challenger League before Stage 1. So Black Dragons was good last time they had Ask. And I definitely think they can be good again, but we shall see. They're always a competitive team. Black Dragons were certainly competitive last stage. They were gave like every team a hard time, but they still weren't like good enough to close out matches against like the better teams. So Definitely looking to be competitive though, and we've seen a Black Dragons team with Ask steal a major spot before, so it can definitely happen again. And then next we have Liquid. This is probably the biggest like roster shakeup of the entire stage across all the regions, where they dropped Ask after only one stage because of some factors where Ask was basically like he kind of had like a feeling of like not being really like wanted as on the team as I can from what I can gather at least. Like he wasn't originally planned to be on the team, but they like brought him in because they just needed a guy. But like the team like gave off like a bad vibe, like they didn't really want him there basically. And then resets just got dropped. I think they just wanted a change from resets after resets being on the team for so long and not doing anything. But you can make the same argument about Nesk because he's been on Liquid since its inception. But you can't really drop a player like Nesk because of just like the name. Really, it's so hard to drop a player like that when he's willing to be with the team. But anyways, Liquid have gone and picked up Lenda, who I believe was last on Vivo Keydstars when they were an Oregon Siege, and then they got Dafo from Loud. Um, I definitely like the Dafo pickup. I think he's good like individually. Of course, we'll see how it is for this like team because he was like good with Loud, but Loud wasn't like that good with him. Um, and then Lenda is coming in as the new IGL, and then they picked up Reduct to be the new head coach, and then Tysus was moved back to the like assistant coach slash analyst position. So Liquid are definitely looking to, of course, qualify and win the major this upcoming stage. Um, and Liquid have been doing that for years now and failed, but never stop trying because it can work eventually, as many teams have happened. Like Team Secret recently finally won their first ever S tier event after being in Siege for a really long time. So, and going through many players on that team. So, yeah. Next we have W7M. I think from here on out there are no like roster changes um, for the top four here. So they're coming back with the same team. Really, expectations for this team is to make the major and win the major, and that's the expectations really for the rest of these teams I'm going to talk about. Um, yeah, just a really strong team. These guys are probably some of the best like meta definers in Brazil right now, along with Furia, and I think they're really well coached. Um, but the league is so competitive that even they got fourth at last stage because W7M was they ended like the regular like group part of their stage one. They ended it in first place, um, but after playoffs they got fourth. So yeah. Okay, now we have NIP. Kind of the biggest surprise for a lot of people. Not a huge surprise for me because it's kind of been a while, and I think finally I was waiting for them to finally make some big like shakeups in the roster to revitalize themselves, and they have finally like done that after Psycho left the team finally. So they came into EWC and I think impressed a lot of people, and I thought they played really well there and genuinely could have gone farther than they did. Um, and then same with South America League as well. They were a round off of eliminating Furia, and then they kind of choked the game away, similar to what happened at Esports World Cup. So I definitely think this roster has the potential to go far. We just need to see the consistency now. Um, so yeah, NIP looking to qualify for the major, and a promising start for them to 2025 overall. And then next we have FaZe. I mean, everybody knows this team if you watch CZ Sports at this point. They've been together for over 2 years. Um, And yeah, just like a really consistent team in Brazil, you can never count them out. They're always contesting for the number one spot in the world, and the expectations for this team is to just win events, really. And then the same can be said for the next team as well. Been together for, you know, what feels like 2 years at this point, and yeah, same expectations as they're here to win events and nothing else really. So yeah, the stakes for the stage, similar to NA, the top four teams who come out of playoffs are going to go to the major, and you get SI points dispersed between the top five teams, and then there's also the almost $30,000 cash prize for first place. So yeah, that's basically Brazil for the stage. The first play day is tomorrow. I'm excited for the matches. Particularly, I want to see how like Liquid does because they have made the biggest changes of the stage, and I want to see if NIP can keep up the good start they had to the year. So yeah, next we're gonna go talk about EU, and that will be the last team we talk about for, or the last like region we talk about for the stage until like the regular stage is over and we're heading into Munich major territory. So yeah, if you watch to the end, thank you and have a good one.